All right, today I have Carly. She's going to talk about her business a little bit, and the things that she does in the fitness industry. So right away, Carly, do you want to give a brief introduction to yourself?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm Carly Doherty. I live up in Johnstown. I came up here about 4 years ago. So I'm technically from Derry slash Latrobe. So I've only been here about 4 years. I have some kids, three kids. I have a grandchild. And that's really about it. Like, that's just like a really brief thing. If you have any questions, ask me because I will answer them. Like, if there's
Uh,
more you want to know.
All right. So you're part of this big dog built the Kastle Gear Force Elite Cycle Fitness type thing. Can you explain exactly what that is? Because to me, it's like three different entities, but I'm not sure how to really explain all that.
So I'm going to explain that to you right now. Pretty much. So Kastle Boxing is Brock Call. He has his own boxing program down there, which is what we did the cyclothon for. Big Dog Built was just the name of the building that we all used. However, at the chili cook-off, they ended up, and I don't think it's been out there enough right now, but Big Dog Built is just the Kastle. So the two things going on there are Gear Force Elite Cycle, which is going to be me and all my fitness stuff. And then Brock is Kastle Boxing, but they're going to call the building Kastle. And I know the building's had more names too, I think, through the years. So they're trying to do away with Big Dog Built. So hopefully that explanation helped a little bit.
Yeah, because I think most people still think it's like you got that whole like Roseland and then like Fielder's Choice type.
Right. It was because the Fielder's Choice is still up there. But I think they're going to take it all down and it's just going to be the Kastle. And then, of course, my building off to the side, I'll have my sign on it for Gear Force. So that's pretty much it.
You have an expansion going on too, if I understand correctly.
Yes. So I started about five. Actually, this is a perfect time for an interview because we are at 6 months here in about, I don't know, a week. One of the things was we weren't really sure kind of where to put me. We weren't really sure how fast it was going to grow. I mean, I knew it was going to grow, but I just wasn't sure how fast. So here we are 6 months later, and we are ready to build because we need more bikes. We have other classes we're going to add to the building. We're going to do bar classes, hot yoga classes, Pilates. We're going to do the kickboxing, the cardio kickboxing. I'm a personal trainer as well. I probably should have said that at the beginning. And strength and conditioning coach, and I have a certification in nutrition. So pretty much I do a whole lot of things. So once that building's up, I'm going to do all that out of that specific building.
All right. So that's going to be separate from the main Kastle building per se.
Yes. And then Brock, like he has his own thing over there with just boxing. So he'll have that. And I actually, to confuse you even more, I am the ladies of, I know, right? I am the Ladies of the Kastle coach for Brock and Kastle. So I teach ladies boxing with him as well, which is completely separate of anything I do over there. I do not teach my own boxing classes. And anything and everything you want will be on my website, which is kickingitwithcarly.com. So you just click on that little link. You can sign up for whatever classes you want. Right now, classes are limited just because I am sharing space with everyone and the boxes are in there and it gets just like a little bit wild. So once that's up, I'm going to add so many more classes. We're going to have an open house probably within the next 2 weeks and we're going to go big. So, and I'll have that schedule out there then. I'm not really sure what it looks like yet. We actually have a new instructors meeting because I'm bringing out some new instructors this week. So we're going to talk about what that's going to look like because I don't even know yet.
Yeah, because you seem to dabble in all kinds of things. I see your pictures online, the biking, the kickboxing, and stuff like that. It's just like, what isn't she doing today that she did yesterday?
Right. I do a lot. Like, so kickboxing is actually my first love. Like, that's kind of how I got into all this. I wanted to be a kickboxer at like 36 years old. And it's been a rough go at it for sure. When I moved up to Johnstown, there wasn't really anywhere to go as far as kickboxing. So I found those boxers downtown and I was like, here I come. I needed to get better with my hands. I got hurt, right? I got hurt and that sucked really, really bad for me because I wanted to fight and I still want to fight, but I probably will not fight. But what I did was I decided I was going to continue to condition in the best way possible. Aside from like their own conditioning, running, and all that stuff, I ended up finding spin. I was like, oh my gosh, I hate this, but it's really, really good for me. And I will never teach it and I will never do it. And then I was like, I love this. So, and I decided, I told Brock, I told everybody, I was like, this is the best way to condition your athletes, which is why, Dean, you should spin in my classes as well. Because you'll be super conditioned. Not that you're not, but you'll get more conditioned.
I took a few and I do enjoy them. It's just like with my schedule, it's just so hard, but I do want to come back up and I am going to come back up hopefully pretty soon.
Yes,
An
that's what we
actual
want.
class.
Yes, it'll be great. It'll be good. Way different than the cyclothon, way different, but still a lot of fun.
So how many bikes? Because right now, I guess that's your emphasis to get people in and interested in your classes. How many bikes do you have, and how many are you going to have
Well,
in the
right now
future?
we have 14, we have 15, but the instructor uses one. So we have 14 bikes. I think at the end of the summer, we're going to try to expand, maybe get a few more. We're actually looking into something really awesome. We are getting leaderboards, and those are going to be, see, I feel like you would like this, you and your group, you and your 16, all your people, ridiculous, killing it. We're going to be able to race, and the bikes will have like all the stuff on the leaderboard. Like your bike will connect to stuff. It will be optional. So I will have event classes where I'm like, hey, Dean, you want to bring your guys in? Half of you can compete. All of you can compete against each other. It's just going to be a really awesome thing we can do. I don't want to do it in every class. I don't want people to feel like they have to connect to a leaderboard and feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just that one that isn't doing it. So I'm going to make special events for stuff like that.
Yeah, that would actually would be something more that I probably enjoy a little bit more than the spinning itself. But it's just like that competition, and I know like other people, even this past like weekend, they were like pushing each other and just trying to get the most miles and stuff like that. So I think a leaderboard, even during a class, I don't think I've ever heard of that being done before anywhere, at least in the area.
There is nowhere in the area. There is nowhere in the area. I can think if you go out to Pittsburgh, you probably can find something really cool and awesome, but we need something really cool and awesome in Johnstown. So I'm ready to bring that. And I want the lights. I want everything. So we're going to have like controls to our lights. Like it's going to be amazing. We'll do themed classes. We'll do, we're going to do a lot about out of that building for sure. A lot. I'm going to do some seminars too. Just a bunch of fun things.
So your other classes that you teach now, how many people can generally be in a class? Because I know some people want to know that because maybe, or maybe not just a class, maybe you do some one-on-one stuff as well.
I do one-on-one stuff. I would do basic like kickboxing classes if somebody wants. I would do basic boxing classes, obviously one-on-one, personal training, anything anybody wants. I'm a personal trainer, so I am going to try to get them to their own specific goal, just depending on what they want. Like everybody's different. So some people want muscles, some people just want to lose 10 pounds, some people just want a friend to talk to, some people just want motivated. They just need somebody to be like, let's go, let's do it. And I kind of want to change women's fitness up here in Johnstown.
Well, I mean, I really think right now you're bringing a niche to the area, and what I might touch on this again later because I was going to, but like your energy, the few times that I've met you, it's like electric. And I also think it's like a magnetic personality. When I say that, I mean when somebody meets you for the first time, or even after a couple times, it's just like the energy you bring to anything, like the event or just being out in public. It's magnetic. People just like want to be around you, I guess.
Oh, that makes me so happy. No, I love people. I actually enjoy people. I do. Some people are like, man, I hate people. I just like people. I think too, the energy, I mean, I have anxiety. So it comes out like pretty wild. I just think that I have a passion for what I do. So therefore, like when I'm teaching it, when I'm doing it, I love it. And I'm just super motivated. Well, not all the time, but most of the time I would say I'm motivated and pretty disciplined. And I just want to share what I have because I want people to know that. And if you get excited about it, right, then they're excited about it. So you always want to bring that excitement, even at 5 a.m. when you're real tired.
Yeah,
And
because
maybe
I
I drink
get,
some caffeine, Dean. Maybe I have a little too much caffeine here and there.
hey, sometimes that's what you need to keep going. But it's like you're talking now, like you can see the energy coming off of you. And I know some classes that I've seen in the past, like from different instructors that I've taken, like their level is just not there. So it keeps you not as motivated as the energy that you bring.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like it's super important to have that energy, especially in spin, because I think spin is kind of hard. I mean, people are a little intimidated by it. So I think to give that energy is something, it's just so important to have it. It's so important. It's so important. I honestly like don't really know where it comes from. Like if you're like, where does it come from? I don't know. I just like what I do. Love what I do, love people, and want to share it all.
So typically now, when do you hold your classes?
So right now we are doing, oh man. So Monday we have I call it a hybrid class. So it is 30 minutes of spin and then it's 30 minutes of functional strength. That is at 5 a.m. Man, right? Tuesday I teach a 5 a.m. spin. And then Thursday, Becca teaches a 5 a.m. spin. Then, where am I at? Tuesday evening, we have a 6 o'clock and a 7:30. Wednesday, we have a 6 o'clock and a 7:15. Saturday, I teach from 7 to 8. And then we have a kickboxing class after that from 8 to 9. And then Sunday, I added an 8 to 9 a.m. I got this, yes. Oh, and those, oh my God, I didn't say it. The Tuesday and Wednesdays are PM classes, those ones that are 6 and 7:15 and 6 and 7:30. You might just want to click on the link. I know it was like a lot.
Because there's, like I said, it's different time frames. You got mornings, you got evenings. I'm sure once expansion done, you'll probably do some afternoons as well.
We are going to do some afternoons. We're going to do some lunch stuff. Now, I don't know if the lunch stuff is going to be more of a like a bar class and or yoga, because I don't know that people want to go. I think about lunch break. Do people want to come and sweat on their lunch break? Probably not as much as we do in spin. They don't want to be you at the cycle fund and go back to work, right? So they we're gonna figure it out on Saturday for sure, and kind of come up with something where I can put yoga, where I can put bar, where I can put spin. But hopefully it's gonna be awesome.
So what is this? You just said it a couple of times, bar classes. What are those?
The bar classes are pretty much, so Becca's going to teach them. She is certified. Pretty much, have you ever it's like toning in like a dance type way, if you will. Like there's a bar, an actual bar, like a ballet bar. So it's more for just like toning purposes, no cardio, strength, not weights, small weights, nothing heavy. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, so like if you wanted to come and like say loosen up or limber up a little bit, and you're not like into maybe yoga poses, this would be something that people would be interested in.
Yes, yes. And then I actually do, I'm going to do a flexibility and mobility class too, which is not like yoga. It's a little bit different because I can't teach yoga. I'm not actually yoga certified, and I can't calm down for 30 seconds to teach yoga. But I'm going to try to take it and just be quiet during class.
You got to start somewhere, I guess.
I do. Maybe that's a goal for me, is just to do some yoga, close my eyes, not talk.
What was it? There was a movie a couple years ago called Accepted, where they went to like made a fake college, and there was a guy who just like couldn't sit still, and then he went and did like a yoga class for like 5 seconds, then he just took off.
He took off. He didn't do well. That's me. Like I want to talk. I want to be like, what did you guys do today? How was your day? What's your favorite thing about yoga? I want to know.
You're sort of like the squirrel from Ice Age.
I am the squirrel from Ice Age. Yeah, I do. I do have ADD. Like I'm gonna be real, I do. So that kind of drives me a little bit. I have ideas. I've got like 8,000 of them all at once. They're all really good too.
If it helps, then you got to run with it.
I'm running with it. We're gonna light up Johnstown. I'm so excited. We're gonna do so many cool things. And then we're going to do the seminars too. Like I have some seminars coming up. I actually have a benefit coming up May 13th. We are going to do for our friend Scotty Wentz. He was hurt in a dirt bike accident about a year ago. So he is currently learning to walk. So in his PT, he actually has a bike that he is able to ride. So we're going to try to raise funds to get him that same bike so he can come to classes with all his friends Tuesday night. So we're really excited about that. We're going to do nutrition seminars. We're going to do body positivity seminars. We're going to do myth busting seminars. Yeah, because I can't, because the fitness industry drives me crazy, right? People follow these things and they hear these fads, and I'm just like, no. So we're gonna put a stop to that.
Right.
Change.
So you just touched on something I wasn't gonna, I didn't even think about. Are you a cold plunge person?
Oh, cold plunge person. Oh my God. Wait, are you the cold plunge guy? Do you do
No.
that?
I'm against, like, I feel it hurts me more than anything. Like my muscles, to me,
They tighten up.
yeah, and I'm like, I want to stay loose. I want to be hot.
Yeah, no, well, actually, I don't like the hot, but no, I do not love the cold plunge. I did the ice at the Mutter that one time, and I thought I was gonna die, maybe. I did not die. I'm still here. Some people love it. I don't love it. I'm told to do it all the time though, because my body hurts real bad. So no,
Yeah,
I'm not.
I'm sort of the same way, but I'm like, I always feel like my muscles get tight, and then
They do.
they're not inflamed. Like the inflammation of your body, it slows it down. I'm like, well, I want my body to repair, so why am I slowing that process down?
Listen, I feel the same. I hate it. I hate it. Now, you talk to Becca Labar, the redheaded instructor. She is all about the cold stuff. I am not. I mean, I will do it, but like I do get cold. We try to do that plunge over New Year's Eve, and I don't love it. Like I think I'm gonna die.
I guess each his own.
To each their own. Yeah, I mean, I'll do it. Like the Mutter, I will slide into that ice and I will swim and I'll live, but I won't like it.
Yeah, the old Arctic enema for
Yeah,
Tough
the
Mudder.
Arctic enema. Yes. Are you gonna do the Mutter this year?
I don't know if I'll be in town for it yet or
All
not.
right. Well, if you are, we should all do it together. We're gonna get a group and we'll do the Arctic enema.
Well, because if I do it, I might do the overnight 12-hour events. Usually, because it's the like qualification standards.
What do you mean? So what do I have to do? Is it like you do it twice?
Well, no, they have their normal morning, but then they have like a toughest Mudder, which is a
Yeah.
12-hour event. Um, Generally it's overnight. It's like separate from the morning. It's like yeah, it's basically a separate event, but you're doing the course as many times as you can through that 12 hours.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to do that one. I'll probably die. Can you hear that? That's terrible. Can you hear that? Yeah. No, so I definitely want to do that one. So if you're in town, we're going to do that one too.
Well, I'll give you some instructions on that in
Yeah, tell me
person.
what I got to do to train.
Well, you'd be fit enough to do it now, but basically you'd have to get like a wetsuit too to keep yourself warm.
Yeah, I don't want to freeze to death. That's not something I'm looking to do.
Yeah, everybody pretty much wears a wetsuit after like the first lap or two, so they stay warm throughout the night. Otherwise, you're going to get hypothermic coming in and out of the water, especially with that time of year in Pittsburgh. I think it's a little earlier than it usually is, like mid-September, but you just never know.
No, it was cold last year, or the year I did it, it was actually very cold. And then it rained. So like it was ridiculous. I was like, this is stupid, but it was a good time.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's traditionally been a cold time for Tough Mudder.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I'm like, I have to get in that ice. And then all the water's cold too. Like the water was just as cold as the ice. It was like water, it was like ice cold without ice. That's how I felt.
Well, they do bring that whole truck, like a whole tractor trailer in. There's like one of those Homer City ice trucks, and they just like basically dump it in throughout the day.
That's what they did. I saw them doing it. Not good stuff.
So you already touched on a name, Becca, but you have some other trainers. If you want to talk about who you have working with you and for you, or however that works out.
Yeah, so my team, so right now I would consider them, so I have Becca, who is an instructor. She's going to do the bar classes. She's going to teach spin. She kind of runs a lot behind the scenes. I'll be honest with you. Like she works really, really hard. Her classes are amazing. She also has high energy. She does those 5 a.m. classes. Oh, I'm trying to think. Her sister actually runs my social media page. Her name is Hannah Labar. So she's super important as well, because I can't do any of that. I obviously couldn't get on a Zoom. So Logan Byers is also an instructor. And then I have Kelly Ashbrook, who she started off spinning with me. And she's actually one of my personal training clients that became my best friend. And I said to her one day, I was like, you've been spinning for so long and you're doing so good. And she decided that she wanted to try it. And now people are just loving her because she has a lot of high energy too. Oh, and then we have Josh. Josh, by the way, McCloskey, he is a behind the scenes helper and a avid supporter of me, but he does all the tech stuff. So he's going to be doing my lighting, my leaderboards. He's going to be doing it all. He does my website. So,
Yeah,
yep.
put him to work as much as you can.
I do. I do. I'm like, excuse me, I need that water bottle over there. I'm like, I'll be on my bike. I'm like, excuse me, I forgot. Yeah, but no, he works really hard behind the scenes. He's huge in this. So that is like my current team. We are adding Elizabeth Dehoney and Becca Sipko, which is another Becca. And Kelly Zavora is going to be an instructor. She's now certified. So in the next few weeks, we're going to be adding her to the team. So we're super excited about that.
I think I know most of those names, if not all of
Yeah.
them. But that's a pretty good group right there. I don't think I saw Becca's sister. I think she's on I never really had a conversation with yet. But I saw her at the cyclothon the other day.
Yeah, she cycled a lot. She typically doesn't cycle, but she was on that bike a lot because she was trying to help poor Dennis because Dennis had like one team or like one guy on his team. So we tried to help him a little bit, but that was a really good time.
Yeah, so, I guess we could transition to that a little bit. So, if people don't know, you had this cyclothon the other I think it was this past weekend. It was like a 16-hour event that you hosted. What was it for? What was it all about? And what did you think about it?
Man, okay, so it was amazing actually. And it went off completely, like I had no idea it was going to be that great, right? I mean, I had asked people suggestions and most people, or all people actually came back with great feedback. There are some things I would do behind the scenes on my end to do something a little different, but it didn't really affect the way the night ran per se. We were raising money for Kastle because they're a nonprofit with coaches for kids. So all those boxers, that goes towards their gloves, it goes towards any of that stuff, their fights, anything like if they're going out of state for their travel expenses. And then Tony Penna does the coaches for kids. So all that goes to scholarships and stuff. So, and those guys obviously are very near and dear to my heart since I'm a boxer for them. So I thought, well, this would be the best idea. And then last year, Gorilla House Gym, Angela Ross, she had an amazing event, which was a cyclothon. And my friend Kelly Ashbrook and I went out together and our team dropped out, right? Our team, we had like maybe 5 people, but it was her and I, and we did the whole thing together. So she was on, I was on, she was on, I was on for all 16 hours. That was rough. That was really rough. But I thought that was great. We need to bring that to Johnstown. So I did. And here we are. And we're going to do it again. We're definitely going to do it again. And we're going to get more teams.
Yeah, I found it to be a fun event. That was my first one that I've ever done something like that. So like I didn't really know what to expect going in. And I didn't personally even know about it. I think it was Andy asked me
Yeah.
and my buddy John. And I'm like, we're like, well, whatever.
Well, you kind of crushed it. You kind of won the event. No, and I think you guys did amazing. I feel like, and it's good too, because for that cyclothon, like there were people that never came into my class that walked into the building that day. And like, that's just how connections are made as well. Like, you're like, oh, there's Dean. Like, he's so cool. Now he's going to spit in my class or he's going to refuse. And then I think we're going to do it again. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we should do it again soon or than later?
This time of year might be hard.
Maybe October, November.
Yeah, like a fall date, I think would be perfect because people are transitioning from outside activities that indoor. Because we started at 3 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah, so it might be hard to get people in that like warm weather on a Saturday. They're going to be outside. But
oh my gosh, you're so right on their real bike. I'm already dealing with that. They're like, we want to go ride our real bike. I'm like, whatever.
Well, I mean, yeah, people aren't going to. I mean, if you're only doing it for an hour, it might not be so bad. But some of those teams only had like 4 or 5 people. Where that one guy biked like 4 hours in a row.
He did, yes, Chris Del Grande, the one across from you. Oh no, the guy in the jeans.
I think he was like caddy corner, like he was in like the middle, like he would have been straight across from where you guys were.
Okay, Jason or Bob. Yeah, there were like a few of them that went about 4 times in a row. But yeah, I thought it was a great time. I'm going to definitely do it again. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this went. I mean, there was a lot of planning. I'm not gonna lie. I think the week before my house didn't get cleaned, my kids were just like, Mom, where are you? Who are you? Um, yeah, so it was rough, but it was really fun. I'm recovered now. It took a while to recover.
Well, yeah, well, you were also biking off and on for 16 hours, where me, I came and went, and well, I came
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
but
Way
I
to
was
go,
having
Dean.
fun. But yeah, I think everybody, because like I'll explain, like I came at like 3:30. My time was until 4 just to see my buddy. I stayed a little after. I came back before a movie, then I came back after. It was just like the whole atmosphere there was like upbeat. People were there having fun, encouraging each other. It wasn't like, even though like some of us were competing to beat another team, a lot of people were there just to have fun and to raise money. And that whole atmosphere was, I guess, just conducive, to having a good time.
It was really good. In fact, I did not expect the whole DJ thing to happen. So I was pretty pumped when Brad was like, I'm going to come play music for you. I'm like, yes. So I'm going to actually next year, or when we do it, I'm going to have that. I'm going to make that in the plans because I think we had a really good time. And then we turned the lights on and it kind of kept the night moving. It wasn't so just like, oh my gosh, we have to ride these bikes. Oh my gosh. And I think having the instructors come in every once in a while was really nice, just to kind of keep everybody motivated, do what we do best.
Yeah, and then you guys had some food and some baskets there as well. So, if you were biking in there for 4 or 5 hours, maybe straight, or off and on, you didn't have to worry about like bringing food or being run down from lack of energy.
No, I'm definitely going to have food every time. I think that was a good. Like I said, there's things I'd add, things I would take away, but it's definitely going to happen again. So I can't wait.
Yeah, just keep me posted.
You will
I
be the
mean,
first to know.
I don't know if I'd really change anything.
I know, right?
I mean, obviously I would like to see more people, just because it'd be a more of a fun atmosphere. Like, say if there was like, if you have 15 bikes, you have 15 teams.
That's
But
the goal. That's what we're going to do. Because here's what I didn't think too. Like we can reach out to Latrobe, like, cause I know people in Latrobe. I'm from Latrobe. We can get teams from even Greensburg. We can get teams from all around and they can stay there. So I think my outreach, I'm just going to reach out more. I just wasn't sure how this one was going to go. So I was like, I didn't really know exactly who I could get to come spend the night. I mean, even some people in West Virginia, I know maybe they could come up for a team. So give you somebody to compete against.
we could talk a little smack just to induce some people to come.
That's right. Like Dean's gonna kick your ass. That's what we'll do.
Well, like, because like from my experience there is, well, the only issue I had was adjusting the bike. We couldn't really figure out, like me and my buddy John, since we're like those bikes are new to us, like how to adjust it so we can get more miles per hour. Um, because that's
And
what
what
it
did
was.
you come up with? You couldn't figure it out, like, or you could.
I think later on they just said to crank the resistance up between like a 5 and a 10 range.
Oh,
But
that 10 range is hard though to move fast. At least for me. Like maybe you can move. Can you move fast at 10
I
seated?
don't know if I really got it up that high, but it was just like, because they're, I guess the way the computers were reading, if you cranked it up past, it would give you that 4 miles per hour.
It would. Like, so last year at Gorilla House, I knew it was 5, but those bikes, so I actually bought 4 bikes from Gorilla House Gym, but we didn't use them because they're different than the bikes that we had out there. Like their calibrations are a little different. They only go up to 15 tension, but the tension's like double the tension. So I left those bikes over to the side. But those bikes last year, which are still Schwinn carbon blue, they're just a little bit fancier, the other ones, it was 5. The sweet spot was 5. But it was hard on those bikes because I think they were more of a 10 on the bike that you were riding, if that makes sense. But
Yeah,
10 was hard. 10's hard seated.
because I know the way I was pedaling, because like I have two bikes. I have a spin bike and I have a road bike on a trainer on basement. It felt like I was doing like 24, 25 at least on there, and it was only reading like a 20, maybe a 20.2, because that's what I got. I got 20.2 for my like 58 minutes that I biked. And I was like, oh, my effort, because you just saw me. I was just drenched.
I know, I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna die over there. But here's the deal, you guys won and you killed it. Each one of you. It was like superstar athlete after one after another. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Well,
You guys are coming to win.
I think we were more competing against each other than the other teams.
That's awesome.
because I know like me and John's like, I'm not a big biker. And he's like, well, I'm going to try to beat you. And
Well,
throughout the
who
night,
won? You or John? Who won?
we actually tied
You would have tied. Shut up. Oh
at,
man.
at 20.2 miles for that like 50-hour or 58-minute break.
Damn. Okay. All right. Well, next year it's you two. And then you two can come to when we have the leaderboards and it can be like John and Dean. And then you could just fight to the end.
Yeah, because I definitely think there was some inner team competition, even at like at 2 a.m. with like Mike and them, they were all trying to like beat, us. So I think
Oh,
that's
that's
the way to do it
awesome.
as well.
Yeah, but then they added alcohol to the mix. So I don't know if that helped their cause.
Yeah, there was a couple of monsters and stuff being drank before people were getting on bikes. I know I drank a Prime and has like 200 milligrams of caffeine. I think
Oh,
that's why my heart rate was just ridiculous.
oh, maybe that's what I need. I've never had one of those. Maybe I don't.
I'm still up in the air, like if they work or if it's just, I don't know.
Placebo.
It's clean energy compared to like a monster. So it's not going to give you like a rush. It's more like a steady, but it's so hard for me to tell if it actually works or if it's just like a placebo with the caffeine yet.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do it, Dean.
But you got
And
to
then
get the,
I'll record. I'm gonna teach my class and I'll record myself.
but get what there's two different ones. There's like the Gatorade version, but this is like the clean energy. I think it's with like the Fit Aid and C4s at Walmart and Richland.
Okay.
It's not the one. It's with the coffees. It's the middle of the owl,
Middle of the okay. Hope I don't die.
and it's on the top shelf too.
Oh, good. I can't reach.
So I'm trying to think what else. I know when we were talking about the plans that you had for the building, it was a
Yeah.
little bit hot in the castle, but you said you're going to be adding AC and some fans and stuff like that.
Yeah. We're gonna have AC. And here's the thing. I think no matter what spin room you get in, it's gonna be really hot. But we're gonna adjust. So we'll see how the first class goes. I'm probably gonna need fans. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Even with AC. And you're still gonna probably sweat real bad. Like you're gonna look like you did, regardless. Because I think
Well, I always say it also depends on the instructor too, because you get some that are like, but like with you guys, if you're coming out of an hour workout with you guys and you're not sweating, the person who's taking the class is doing something wrong.
you know what? I know that. I'll be like, if you're not sweating, if your quads aren't crying, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. But I think you asked me too, like when you sent it to me, like one of the cool things I think about spin is you can come in at any level because guess what? I don't know. I don't know what's on your screen and it's in the dark. You can sit, you can stand. There's times, honestly, like my shoulder's been hurt for like, oh my gosh, a month and a half. And we lift weights on bikes sometimes too, but I won't lift the weights. I'll do more legs. If my knee is hurting, I can turn my tension down. Nobody really knows where you are. You just come, you just keep pedaling and you just do your best. Because I know when you walk in, nobody's on 34 when I'm yelling 34, 34. I know no one's on 34. I mean, I hope they are.
34?
30, those tension goes up to 34, Dean.
Oh, geez.
I know. Some serious isolation work.
That would be some leg burning because all right, so a couple months ago, I took my first one up at Wimber with Brian.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay, good.
And he was explaining to me because like since it was my first one, he's like, these bikes go up to 24 or whatever. And so I was like, all right, I'll start out at like 12. And I'll tell you what, my legs started burning. It does take you a few classes, I think, to understand the different settings, tension wise, to actually like get in a groove.
It does. I think your first class, most people are just like, what am I doing? She said, what? I move quick too. And then we do call out terms like 25%. Well, people don't really know what their 25% is until they're there a few times. Like maybe your 25% is 5. Maybe your 75% is 24. It just all depends on who you are and kind of what you want to get out of the workout. Like for me, I went in there because I was going to boxing. I was conditioning to box. I was trying to stay alive in the ring for 2 minutes. So I always gave it everything. So like I said, you don't have to do that. It's all about you. It's you against you, which is one of those mottos. So I definitely think that works for a class like spin.
Yeah, because like you're saying is that I think that's I wish I could do it more and have more free time to like come up and do some of these classes. Like you're saying, it's you against you. It's um even though you might have like 10, 15 people in a class, you're not like you might glance over and be like, oh man, they are getting sweaty. I was like, so it's good. But it's not like you're competing with them in a normal setting. It's you're there to get a good workout or maybe to socialize a little bit. But it's always you against you and what you want to get out of that workout.
It is like there are some days too, like I'll be like, oh, I don't really want to do that much. So like I said, I turn my attention down, or if I'm sick, because I have to teach class sick, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die up here. So I'll turn my attention down. I mean, I'll still give the class what they need, but I won't do that. So like, and so for injuries too, like it works for injuries. You can just adjust, you adapt and adjust and move on. So that's how I feel. I always, though, with Josh's monitor, if I'm in class, I look at his, because I know that he's not doing what he should be doing. And I'll like peek over, but I'm the only one who does that. So nobody else does that to anybody, but I do that. I'm like,
Right.
why are you at 2? I'm at like 20.
He's slacking a little bit. I can see that. He'll just give you that like Josh look. He'll just be like, he'll give you like a blank face and just be like, all right.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just doing real good. I'm like, you're not sweating, whatever.
So to speak on spin a little bit more, I tell people, it takes a little bit to get used to, and get the adjustments right. Like how do you explain to people to get the adjustments right when they're first coming?
How do I explain it to them? Well, okay, so I will tell them like they're 25%. I'll just tell them what I think their 25% should be, which is 0 to 5. And guys are a little bit different. Like, I don't think, did you ever spin on 0 at all? Like when you were there at the cyclothon?
I might have went down to like 2 or something just to try to see. Like I was trying to adjust on the fly.
Right. I'm never below. I never go to 0 because it's just too crazy. Like it's just too it's too wild. Like I can't control my legs at 0. So I pretty much, if they've never been there, I say 0 to 5 to start off with. When we stand, we always go to 10 just to have tension on your legs. I usually call out numbers and RPMs during class so they can follow. If somebody new, I try to slow down between songs and give some good instruction. I encourage water between every song. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you do have music and stuff like that playing?
Absolutely. We do music and it's in the dark with the lights, like kind of like the DJ with Brad. It's kind of like that. Yeah, we got a lot of good music. Like we make playlists, and I know like we do co-teaching classes sometimes where like Becca and I did a class where, and I don't know if you know how much music you know. First of all, I love music. So that's a whole nother thing. So music and spin, it's like all these creative juices are just flowing. But we did like, do you know the song Under Pressure by Queen? And then Vanilla Ice did Ice Ice Baby.
If I heard that first one, I know Ice Ice Baby.
Right. So Google Under Pressure and listen to it. So what we did is we took those songs and she did like the version I did the first version, and then she did the cooler version, she said. The more updated version where they use the same kind of pieces of that song. And then we're going to do an 80s class. And then I did a Battle of the Bands class. We did a Fire and Ice class where like Kelly's songs were songs about ice and all my songs were about fire. And then we did a little competition. So we just get real creative. I don't like to give out all my ideas, but yeah, we're coming up with some new ones.
So, getting back to the adjustments, if people don't know, like the seats move, the handlebars move, and stuff like that, what would you tell them if they're going to get on one for the first time?
Okay, so
feel wise,
the seat has to be where your hip, like for your hip, and then it all depends too, like how tall you are. Like our bikes go up to I think 6'7", and we go up to 350. Not all bikes do that. So so that's the perk of the Schwinn Carbon Blue bikes, just saying. They're pretty sturdy and durable. It all just depends, because sometimes people are short, like sometimes people's arms are longer. You just kind of have to sit down and I adjust them for them. Like if you're new, I'm going to come adjust your seat and tell you exactly where to be pretty much when I sit with, like, look at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's more, I guess what you're saying is it's more of a feel. Um, and again, another adjustment on the fly because you just can't, oh, this is what I do here, because it might be a different bike as well.
Right. And like, you don't want to be able to overextend, like hyperextend your knees. Like, you don't want to be able to have your legs go completely straight. You want to have a little bend in your knee. There's just like safety concerns. Like so you want to be safe about it. So like I said, I go around and adjust everybody's seat and tell them exactly how to do it. And if they have any questions the next time they come in, that's why. So my class is an hour long. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you spin for an hour. No, we do not spin for an hour. But one of the things I always thought was really important was activating our muscles before we get on the bikes and giving proper instruction to anybody who's new. So that those 15 minutes that are kind of there, we have that to warm up before we get on the bike, activate our glutes, all the muscles that we need to use, and talk a little bit. And then we spin for probably about 45 minutes.
Yeah, that still gives you a pretty good window, like just to get that good workout in. I know when whether I'm biking in my basement or in a spin class, 45 minutes you're getting a pretty good workout in that time frame.
You are 45 minutes is enough spin. It is like a great amount of spin. And like I said, we do add arm stuff. So I don't love to do arms on bikes. Some of our instructors do. A lot of people love it. It's just 2-pound weights, maybe 5-pound weights. It all depends how you're feeling. We pick a song. We do maybe 2 or 3 songs. So that helps like break up the monotony of just all spinning. But then, like I said, I don't like to do weights that much in my classes, at least, because
Yeah,
I'm
see,
hurt.
one of the issues that I had this winter, I really started biking a lot. I even got up to like 200 miles one week just in my basement, is my like nether regions in the gooch area. Like I couldn't find that like comfort zone, because once you start like rubbing that or
Right.
getting that sore.
Right. And we don't know, like us as women, we don't know about the gooch, but what we do hear, we do hear that. We hear too, like other, like women's butts hurt too. So they do make they make padded seats. They make padded underwear.
Yeah,
So I've seen women come in with padded underwear. I have one lady that bought like double seat cushions. So those are out there for anybody who is uncomfortable in their gooch area.
yeah, it's well, I will say after the cyclothon, because I was pedaling so hard, like that area was fine. It was just like my inner thighs back and forth a little bit because I was just trying to pedal so hard it kept hitting the seat.
Well, yeah. Well, listen to this. After I did cyclothon last year with my friend Kelly, and we did it all night long, we had to stop at Sheets, and I had to get 2 big bags of ice because I could not like barely walk. Like I didn't think I was going to survive it. It took me like a month to recover. So yes, it was tough stuff.
But that's part of the reason why I like a spin, say, more so than just sitting on my trainer at home, is because you guys move up and down. So it's not like a 45-minute, where that might get a little bit sore. So you're up and down, moving around a little bit. So that area, if people are afraid, I guess that's
Yeah,
not
no,
necessarily
we
going to
stand
happen.
a lot. Like, here's the thing: if you sit the whole time, like it's cyclothon, that's rough. I had to stand up a lot, even at cyclothon, to be able to instruct because I get sore too. So 100%, we're up, down. And first of all, I am not boring because I get bored on that bike. So I change a lot. So we're up, down, all around. We dance a little bit, you know.
So what are some of your like mottos for fitness and just being healthy in general?
Oh man, some of my mottos. Obviously, you against you. I feel like that's a really big one where people have this competitive nature when they really just need to be competing with themselves because that's all that matters. Like, I mean, I'm competitive, you're competitive, but if you're trying to reach I don't know, you gotta look inward. If you're looking at what everybody else is doing, you're not working on yourself. That's the only way you can compete with somebody else, is to just you against you. So I think that's super important. One of the things that I have been told, because I have a mentor as well, and I think perfect is the enemy of good. Like people want to be perfect all the time, but if you're striving to be perfect, you're never going to just be good. Like you're just not going to be good because we can't be perfect. So I let women know that like we can't reach perfection. If we're not happy in the journey, we're never going to be happy when we get to the destination, right? So perfect is the enemy of good. Or good is the enemy of perfect. So I like that. I also like, but good is, I have this written down, right? As if I can't remember my own motto. Good is the enemy of great, though, because if it's just good, it can't be great, right? Because great's not perfect. So does that make sense?
Yes.
So like if it's just good, like it's just good. And right now I feel like spin is really good, but when I get that new building, it's going to be great. Like it's just because that mentality of just being good isn't good enough because we can expand and we can grow. And then there's obviously you have to step outside your comfort zone to grow because if you're in this comfortable place, you're never going to grow. So I encourage everybody to step in my door because I don't judge anybody. I love what I do. And I just want people to understand that this is a really fun journey and that we don't have to be afraid, try new things. Because there's another thing too. You have to look stupid doing something new. You know how stupid I look? Listen, Dee, I'm doing gymnastics right now. I look really stupid. And I have recordings of me looking really stupid. And they're going to come out on Facebook real soon. But you have to do that. You have to put yourself out there. Otherwise, you're not going to grow. And that just bleeds over into life itself, right? Like not just like sports, but daily living. So those are my mottos. Very quickly, I rattled them off real fast.
Well, those are all good ones because like when was the last time you did something for the first time? Like Sean Corvell teaches
Yeah.
that. I don't know. He's the guy that's usually a Tough Mudder, the MC.
Yeah.
I'm friends with him, and he's like one of the like that's his little go-to for everybody, and it works. It's like same thing with what you're trying to say.
Yeah. You got to do something for the first time. And I think people just get so afraid. And, you waste your entire life. Like when I was younger, I'm like, well, I didn't do that because I look stupid. Well, you know what? I still look stupid. And I would like to think that like I know a lot boxing and kickboxing, but I still look really dumb. Like I do some dumb stuff and I'm like, oh, but you're not going to get good if you just don't do it. So you have to just take that step. And I want women to feel comfortable with me and not feel like they are being judged. Because I know that's a huge thing with women. Women are like, oh my gosh, I'm being judged. I'm being judged. Well, no, not with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a woman, and I don't plan to be, but it's one of those things. Like I can see that sometimes, like say, guy personal trainers and stuff like that push, and I can see it like when I went to the gym and stuff like making women uncomfortable. Where I think women need like a positive image or an instructor like you that encourages them, like no matter what their ability may be at the time when they decide they want to grow and better themselves.
Right. And there is like, so I'm doing a certification in women's coaching right now. And women really just are that different. Like women and men are just a lot different. Like we're like so emotional and, when you go to the gym and your client could be going through a divorce, who knows what's going on in their life, but that really truly affects them on how they actually perform. So there's so much mental behind it, like that you have to kind of be able to pull that from people and really actually care about what's happening. So I think that's what the difference is between like men and women. I push people, but I don't know, anybody will tell you like I'm not mean because I don't want to push people through an injury or anything like that. And God knows I've had so many of my own. So if someone's like, oh, that hurts really bad, I'm like, okay, well, let's adjust. We just adapt and adjust and we move on.
So you touched before about you wanted to be like a kickboxer and stuff like that. So when you were younger, were you always like into fitness, or what got you into the fitness, or like did you play sports or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I was a dancer and a gymnast. So I was dancer, gymnast. I was a cheerleader for a minute, but I didn't really love it that much. I mean, I liked the competing aspect of it. Oh, Dean, I hate team sports. So I played volleyball. I hated that because I was like part of a team that, oh my gosh, if you let them down, they all yelled at you. And then, so I never really did well with that. So I started doing karate, Tang Soo Do, Taekwondo, and I really loved that. I said to my mom, I want to be a kickboxer. There's a bug here, by the way, that I keep swatting away. She's like, no, you're going to get hurt. But then she like let me do karate, which was just like, okay, well, I'm still getting hurt. But I didn't really stick with it too long. Graduated high school, went to college for a little bit, came back, had some children, life kind of stopped for a little bit. Joined karate again when I got older, realized I loved it, still wanted to kickbox, but they didn't have anything. Then I got a little bit older, went through a rough time in my life, and there was some kickboxing down in Latrobe, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. Like, here I am looking real stupid walking into the gym by myself, and I fell in love with it. So it was good stuff. And at the time, I did, like I said, I did really want to fight. I still do, but it just may not be worth it at this time in my life. I do have a kiddo with special needs, so I always worry about that, because injury is a real thing because you get hit in the head. So I've had a few concussions. I wish not to have any more, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, at least there was like, I always wonder how people get into it, because sometimes, like you said, you're not really a team sport person. Neither am I. Like, I used to be a lot, and like I played softball as an adult, like basketball at the Y's, but now I'm more like, I want to do my own thing, push my own limits, and be I don't know how to really say it, like responsible for my outcomes.
Me too. Like, I don't want to be responsible for anybody else on my team, or I don't want them to be responsible for me. I want to feel like I gave it my all and did my best. So that's why I like it. And, combat sports, it's like mad discipline. Like, it is probably when I was a kid, I was even though I did all these things, and I did run cross country too, I would say I didn't have that drive or that ambition that I have now. So when I did combat sports, it was like, you have to be so dedicated, you have to be so disciplined. And I really ended up loving that. I was going to put myself into something good. And you meet so many cool people along the way. So everybody's trying to better themselves.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that a lot with individual sports right now. I had my buddy Jack on the other day. He was talking about like powerlifting. Like team sports, it's always you're rooting for one team or the other, and then you always like hate the other team. We'll just say like we're like on the Pittsburgh side of the state, so we're a Steelers, Pens generally, and then so like we always hate like Philly side like generally, not
Right.
necessarily as people but teams, and you always get that with like team sports. You hate the other team or their fan base, but with individual sports, whether it be like kickboxing, boxing, powerlifting, or running, the community doesn't necessarily hate you or want to see you fail. Like they all want to lift you up and
You're like not as
see you
divided.
succeed.
Yes. And that's why I love it. Yes, that's exactly it. It doesn't feel like there's such a division, even though fighters are fighting against each other. It's still, I don't know. It's still not as bad as like the whole team stuff.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm drawn to it now. Is like even like watching UFC and stuff like that. These two guys might fight, but afterwards they legitimately, for the most part, shake hands. Like the trainers are all like, "Hey, this is what this guy's doing. This is what we got to build off of." And like with like me being more of a runner, even though like somebody might want to beat me or I want to beat somebody during a race, afterwards we're all hanging out, shaking hands, talking, eating food together, like lifting each other up. And that's why I like more like the personal training aspect or individual sports now more than team sports, I guess.
I agree 100% with you. I feel the same exact way. Same exact way.
So, just another question or two before we wrap up.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody or encourage somebody that maybe is a little bit shy to get into the start a fitness journey? Like, how would you encourage them, or the steps that they should take?
They're a little bit shy. Well, first of all, not everybody appreciates my energy. So sometimes I have to dial back a little bit. It all depends on like what the person's like. I might text them. I might like, there's certain people you can joke with. Like I'll end up in people's inboxes all the time trying to encourage them. It just all depends on like what they might be afraid of. Like if they're afraid, okay, so they want to join cardio kickboxing, but they don't want to look stupid. So I'll say, okay, how about I do a session with you prior to, and you can learn the technique so you feel more comfortable coming into the class. So spending a little extra time with them outside of it to get them there is helpful to them. Spin, it's a little bit harder because they do get a little bit afraid. It's kind of intimidating, but like I just kind of tell them everything that I said about it being dark and you not having to do what everybody else is doing. And you don't even know what anybody else is doing. Like I said, I don't know what anybody else is doing, and you don't know what I'm doing. So I said, it's always worth it to come out and give it a try. If you don't like it, there's other things that you might like. And I ask a little bit about their lives. And then I share a lot of stories about my life too, because like I'm going to be real, it's a wild one. So I like to share my own personal experiences with them. Then they feel a little bit more comfortable. They know that I'm not just like this person that's perfect, that's got it going on, and I know exactly how to do it. I don't. So I'm in a journey too. So I share that with them. And I think that makes people feel a little bit more comfortable, that I'm just down to earth.
Yeah, because I think that's the hardest part when people, they might want to get in shape, just live a healthier life. They're always a little bit hesitant because they don't know how to start, or like I guess I use the word shy because they don't want to struggle or look bad. But I guess to me, like from my years from experience now, the struggle is part of the experience and the journey.
It is. I think you just have to get to a certain point. Like, even it might be nutrition. Like I'll tell them, I'll be like, if you don't want to work out, how about work on your nutrition first? Like something will happen in their journey that will flip their switch. It's kind of figuring out what makes this person motivated. One of the things I think is find a sport that you like or something you like to do. Like I don't like to swim, right? But I would encourage somebody who does like to swim to do something they like to do and start there. It doesn't mean you have to come lift weights with me. It doesn't mean you have to join in for 6 months and sign up with me. It just means we'll talk a little bit, find something you enjoy doing and work at it. So, and then everything kind of falls into place. That's kind of how that's what happened to me. Like I wasn't in shape when I decided to kickbox. I was totally out of shape. I had 3 kids. I was drinking too much. I was just eating too much unhealthy food. So I went in there. I'm like, oh my God, I love this. And I'm like, and if I want to do it, I got to get back to the shape I used to be in. So I think finding that thing that just flips the switch for you.
Yeah, just taking that first step is the right step in that right direction, I guess. I don't know how to really iterate that, but once somebody's like, hey, I want to do this, it just, yeah, like you said, finding what you like to do, doing it, or asking for help and getting information out there.
Yes. And I think and that's why I really, really want to do these seminars, because I think one of the plagues of the fitness industry is there are so many myths people do not understand. They're like, oh, I have to starve myself to look this way. They have no idea what they're actually doing to their bodies. And they don't have a healthy relationship with food or whatnot. So it's really about establishing a connection with them, trying to figure out what makes them work, and then help them through like, oh my gosh, if you buy this pill, you're going to lose 30 pounds. Because you know what? They'll probably buy that pill and try to lose 30 pounds and not lose 30 pounds and give up. Challenges. I'm going to talk about challenges. I hate challenges. I hate like challenges where it's like it's like a cookie cutter thing. Like everybody has to do this challenge or everybody has to do this, but not everybody can do that. And not everybody's lifestyle is in the place to do that. Like I try to do 75 hard. Well, I can't do 75 hard right now because I have to I'm going to drive out to Latrobe tonight. My mom actually is not doing really well. She broke her hip. So I got to drive out to Latrobe. So there are just certain things that prevent me from being able to do certain things. So I'm not a failure at that challenge, but a lot of people will be like, oh man, I failed that challenge. I suck. And then they don't want to try anything again. So just like that mentality, just like kind of switching everything.
All right. Oh, I did, as we were talking, something did pop in my mind about the cyclothon is we got to live feed some of it.
Yes.
Because you know how cool that would be if we had, we'll just say like, so it's 16 hours. If you go with that same format, or if you shrink it, whatever, and then like teams could be watching it, be like, oh, he's slacking or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Let's do it. See, that is awesome. I love that. I feel that.
So yeah, I think that aspect, if we could do that somehow, that might like get some teams motivated, or just like not necessarily everybody, because like I said, not everybody was there to get the most miles. They were there to have fun, enjoy themselves, exercise and whatnot. But like the couple of teams that wanted to battle against each other, or like my team, the inter team competition, if you know,
That's funny.
they might not admit to it, but I know we'll just say the whole team was pretty much competing against each other. But
I love it.
I think that live feed would really bring some of that competition, like within a team.
Let's do it.
So, all right. Like you said, you have to get going. I still got to eat supper yet.
Me
So-
too. My food is sitting in the kitchen right now and it's simmering. So I want to eat in the. Yes, I appreciate you having me on. This was so exciting. I love talking. I'm so happy that this is out there, and I look forward to like we can do this again. We
Oh,
can bring
yeah,
the other instructors on, whatever.
Yeah, once you get that new building, everything set up in the new building, maybe we'll do like a live thing or something
Oh my
from there. Give like a tour of the whole building.
Yes, Dean, 100%. I'm in. Let's do it. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, and yeah, I'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you for having me on. All right. Bye, Dean.
See you.